If you're looking for adventure, grab the modules each month to support the channel and play the campaign with your gaming group. You're sure to get hooked on adventure.
I'm sure, that some of you have had players who, are shyer than other players. Maybe they don't like to role play as much as other players. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to talk about what can you do to, give them the equal time that everybody, the person who likes to be in the spotlight, take everybody else's time. What can you do to help them, shine like the rest of the party?
Yeah, so prompting players, again, there's so many little nuances of RPGs that you don't find in other games. Like in a board game, it's just natural that it's your turn and, like you do your thing and everyone waits. Mm-hmm. But it seems like in RPGs, there's this whole thing where everything kind of happens at once. Everyone's shouting over everyone else. And I always struggled with that as a new DM, as a young player back in the day. It was always a problem, like trying to manage. You're trying to herd cats. It's very hard.
Yeah.
So I started doing this a while ago. It's just the strict turn order, which we've talked about many times on this. And essentially, what that is, each player has a self-contained turn. And it's their turn to ask questions, say things, and do an action, right? It's not something that's too foreign, because normally you do this in combat anyway. It's like your initiative order. So it's not like this is a completely foreign concept. We're just talking about the entire game is run this way. You'll see it in a lot of newer type of games like ICRPG and My 70 System and EZD6. These are sort of aspects that we've built into the games to help new players get used to it, because new players, when they sit down at a table with older players or veteran players, and there's all this talking over everyone all the time, they don't feel like they're involved because they don't know when to or how to interject their information.
Right. Another thing you can do that I found is helpful is that if you have a shyer player, you can contact them out of game and ask them if there's stuff about their character that they would like to explore. If there's, you can actually set up something with them outside a game, and then when the game time comes, you can role play that out, or and put it in the game so that they get a chance. Because some games don't necessarily have the strict turn order, and it can be harder. It can be harder to get those players, to get their moment, their shining moments. But that's one thing you can do. You can set up pre-set up things with the characters. Oh, my character, what's your character interested in? Okay, well, we'll talk about this in the game, or we'll work, I'll have an encounter where that character is the one that gets to shine in the game, so that they haven't, and they're not getting, shouted out by the other players, or overpowered by the other, stronger-willed players.
Yeah.
So, I think you should, take extra time with those shy or meek players to get them in the game. Whatever you have to do, get them in the game.
The way we've talked about me, the way that I introduce little nuggets of information as we go around the table as part of the strict turn order.
I love that.
And that really helps with, a shy player when you give them something they can latch onto. It's like that life raft, sort of what do they call it, the round thing? The donut? You give them a donut. They can chew on.
The inner tube?
Yeah, the inner tube. So you give them that life preserver.
The life preserver.
The life preserver. So you're giving them something they can hold on to, so they're not going to drown in the fact that they don't know what they're doing, and they don't. So you also want to ask questions of the players. So veteran players, you can drop information. You see a large tower. The veteran player is like, what kind of tower is it? Okay, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, are there any guards? But a new player guy will just sitting there, okay, there's a tower, what do I do? So then you would ask the new players, like, you see this tower, what would you like to do? How would you like to approach this tower? And that prompts them to then think about that and go, well, I think maybe I'd like to creep up to it, because we don't know much about this tower, and I don't know what's happening, so I'm going to creep up to it. That's fine. Okay, you want to take cover? Yeah, I want to take cover, and then you do the whole thing. So you newer players, you're asking questions, and you're throwing these nuggets out to them with a corresponding question,
right? Just
to help them get it. And when you do this, it doesn't take more than a few rounds of the table them perceiving what other people are doing for them to get into the game.
Right.
Some people need more of it, other people's not so much. It's an individual kind of thing.
Yeah, and nurture that as much as they're comfortable with. If they want to kind of stay back, and maybe later on they'll grow and they'll get more in the game. Let them do that. Don't force them. Don't try to force them. If they're comfortable with that and they want to kind of sit back a little more than the other players, that's fine. Let them do that. But if you're noticing that they're just being overrun by the other players, that's why I think we need to step in and try some of these strategies.
Also, there's one thing I've also started doing. I started it when we were back in Mace in November, where I allow a player to pass. So they go, they just, at the moment, they can't think of anything. It's not like it's an action round or anything like that. So they just pass it on to the next player. They're happy to just let it flow along. I've started introducing that as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
So
they're not on the spot.
Yeah, they're not like it's just.
It was my turn. I have to do something.
It's been really fun, and you're waiting for so and so to go because you want to see what they're going to do.
Right.
You just don't want to interrupt the action, so you can pass it on to the next player. You don't get another turn or anything.
Right.
But yeah, you can go around the table that way. So yeah, prompting people, and also prompting veteran players. Sometimes veteran players get sort of really stuck into what they're actually doing now, and they've forgotten specific information that was important.
Right.
They've forgotten they've got a specific weapon that kills this specific monster, and they've been fighting 2 rounds and they haven't remembered. So what I like to do in my game is have them do a mental check or a wisdom check in D&D for them to remember the fact that they've got this thing.
Right.
So it's a check based, and so they don't know why they're checking, and you're not just blatantly, don't forget you got the sword of ogre slaying,
right,
and you're fighting an ogre. You do this wisdom check, and you don't make it difficult. So you make it in D&D, you make it a 12, and 70 is going to be a 2 or something like that. And so when they pass, you remember the fact that you have an ogre slaying sword in your backpack.
Bingo!
Oh yeah. Yeah. So because that happens a lot. There's so much stuff happening. There's so much stuff happening. You want to kind of reintroduce a topic, but you don't want to just blatantly say it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Prompting players.
What?
I don't know.
What's that mean?
I fucking don't know.
Right. It's your turn, you take your turn.
That's
What more
right.
prompting do you need?
I know. You throw the dice at them.
Yeah, that gets their attention.
Just put a good oi into it.
I throw a dead cat at
Oi.
them.
Yeah.
Dead cat, that really gets their attention.
That your suggestion gets 1 frog.
Oh yeah.
Yes, 1 purple frog.
Oh, awesome.
That's right. Okay, well, I think we
There
solved
you
her
go,
problem.
that's it. Problem solved.
Shit, bro.
That
we're
was way worth 50
that's like-
bucks.
They're trying to find these dudes.
Yeah. I was they're trawling the trailer parks in America, I think.
So if you see the 2 grumpy wizards, please send us a message. Send us an email. Send us a message.
Thank you for joining us. We're Quest Givers. You can check out our website, questgivers.com. You can purchase all kinds of merchandise, which helps support the making of this channel. What kind of merchandise can we get?
I think we got all kinds of RPG merchandise, and it's system neutral. So whatever system you're running, you can run it for your own system, and that's what we really wanted to concentrate on when we did our material. We didn't want to make it for one system or another because we want everyone to have great material.
And not everything is $50.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Nothing is $50.
How they ever got away with that?
I know. And kids set up money.
Yeah.
Abracadabra, send me all your cash. In an envelope. Mark, this is not hash.